Everybody can hear me clear? Nobody can.
Sir.
No, that's all right. Okay, everybody can hear. Everybody can hear me clear?
Yeah, see?
Yes.
Nobody can.
Sir.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
We should shut down YouTube.
Okay, everybody can hear. Everybody can hear me clear?
Yeah, see?
Yes.
Nobody can.
Sir.
Lama, now you have an echo.
We should shut down YouTube.
Okay, everybody can hear. Everybody can hear me clear?
Yeah, see?
No, Lama, you have an echo.
We're getting a lot of
Yes.
ring back and noise.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody can.
Sir.
It was the best was when I said yes, it was clear. That was very clear.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now everybody can hear, right? Okay, good. 마우드 방식. Lama China 왜? 왜? 어디 해야 되지? Okay. Oh, good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. Happy Sunday. Happy precious moment. So we will continue the transmission and some explanation composed by reincarnation the Avalokiteshvara, King Sonzen Gambo. And when any practice before, we needed to good motivation. There are so many sentient beings, there are so many beings, a lot of suffering, some very, very illness physically and mentally. Some people just pass away, some people just birth, and all the samsaric is a circle. So we have so fortunate to pray for whoever passed away to rebirth the Sukhavati pure land, and whoever ill, our prayer for their recovery soon. And also to include our home, is the world environment, and so think those. And then the prayer begin page 2 in prayer book, reciting twice in Tibetan and once in English. English.
All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed onto the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Again, good morning, and continue with the King Songjong who composed the Mani Gambum. The Mani Gambum is the essence, the sutras and tantras combining, and they put the practice, how to practice, how came in the Buddhist history in the land of the Himalaya regions. Then King Songjong Gambo himself, of course, reincarnation the Avalokiteshvara, and he emphasized how benefit practice for the Avalokiteshvaras. The Avalokiteshvara is the 84,000 essence, and there are also many different sadhanas, short and long, and also their practice give for they are outer the minister or inner minister, and then queens and individuals, and very profound teachings. So now we first read in the English basic roughly, you will see what's going on in the chapter and so forth. Then I will give the one reading as a part of the transmission. Then I'll try to do some explanation from there. So now what's left over is there are the 10 bhumis and 6 bhumi and so forth. For now, we begin here, the 8 bhumi, the fully, the aspiration fulfill
stage in the 8th Bhumi from here?
So I left off on 10th perfection of wisdom.
Yeah, but last time I didn't finish because we just talked some stories.
Yes, yes.
So this way you begin 8th Bhumi.
Okay. 8th is on page 443. 8th, perfection of aspiration. Within are 3 dharmas. 1, the aspiration of non-discouragement. 2, the aspiration of non-conception. 3, the aspiration of exertion in benefiting beings. Aspiration, smanlam, is the fruition. The path is the cause. Perfection is reaching the other side, the place. As for the aspiration of non-discouragement, first, at the time of bodhisattva conduct, the aspirations that are made establish the fruition of aspiration by being established. As for the aspiration of non-conception, absence of characteristics is self-existing. By the power of aspiration after characteristics have been overcome, aspiration in the 3 times for enlightenment are later established. As for the aspiration of exertion in benefiting beings, we make the aspiration that all sentient beings may attain Buddhahood. In doing that, as there is no action and actor of this benefit for sentient beings, it is without bias and partiality. Thus, having produced the cause by means of the perfection of aspiration, in establishing the path and fruition of aspiration, recite the essence mantra, the 6 syllables of great compassion, which leads directly to enlightenment. By continually counting Om Mani Padme Hum, having purified obscuration, the 8th Bhumi, the immovable, is attained. After the 8th Bhumi, the wisdom of complete non-thought is predominant. Because it is not moved by the wind of characteristics, the 8th Bhumi is called the immovable. 9th, perfection of power. Within are 3 sections. 1, power of taming the 3 maras. 2, power of perfecting the 2 accumulations. 3, power of eliminating opponents in debate. As for the power...
Can you go back in the beginning, the 9th?
Yes.
This is the power, right?
Yes.
As the 3 things. Then what do you say?
So within are 3 sections.
Yes.
Then after the 3 sections, as for the power of taming the 4 maras,
Okay.
by the bodhisattva of the 9th Bhumi, knowing all dharmas to be empty and selfless, after the non-corresponding class is overcome, not even the name of the maras exists. As for the power of perfecting the 2 accumulations, by the power of familiarity, without having to strive by means of physical effort, the accumulation of merit is perfected. From that, without being able to help it, the accumulation of wisdom is perfected. As for the power of eliminating opponents in debate, by these 2 accumulations being indivisibly perfected, without applying any antidotes at all, by the samadhi of becoming a warrior, thus having produced the cause by means of the perfection of aspiration, in establishing the path and fruition of aspiration, recite the essence mantra, the 6 syllables of great compassion, which leads directly to enlightenment. By continually counting Om Mani Padme Hum, having purified obscurations, the 9th Bhumi, good intellect is attained. Moreover, the fruition, genuine wisdom is resolved. Even though benefits for self and other have been performed, there are many confusions. By their becoming the ground of good intellect, it is called the Bhumi of good intellect.
Oh, okay, just there. Jeba molom jeba rudu jimbala chu sunde mo shumbe molom da mimigbe molom da samje jedon lo tumbe molom motela monen debu yinla lamni juin parudu jimbane yuno tela mo shumbe molom ne tomor senju be sembe jebe tula molom chitabjang ruwa molom jinjebu ondo girowa la chawo mimigbe molom ne samame bar punji dewa de tobo lam molom ji tomne sama sinji ne tusumji chanju molom ji yunrugo samje jidon lo tumbe molom ne ruwa samje tumje sanje bar molom dewo tezana samje jidon di 차 디치 미바 초르 미브라 차와 데들 몰음지 바로 두침바 규제 몰음지 람제고 데제고 데버 제발로 투지 지부 이게 중매 전주 니버 주베 닝부데 데서 엄마네 바드메 홍시 데바 지바잖에 기와 미유에서 도와서 기와 인제 넘버 미도비 시세 제신 세멜롱기 미유와 기와 미유에서 지저고 그것도 제 바로 두침바라 손디 두신디베도 촌이 적고도 그거 설지베 도서 두신디베도는 사부에 장주게 선배 초담제 동신 다음에 시베 미된베 초 신기에는 두기 명야메도 촌이 적고 덥네 컴베쇼를 루 자제기고는 배미고 손음지 초조 텔라라모네고 이 시기 초조 그거 서로 집어두는 초대니 여름에 바로 저거 님부지장 미조 바로 파워런드베 띵는지지 대돌지 바로도 좀 봐주잖아 dobje lam de보다 제 두버 제발로 투지주고 이거 좀 전주고 섬 니월 주변 님분들 대be 엄마네 빼매 홍시 대be 지바전네 그거 레벨로 제 사도 대연되고 영다괴 이 시대나 보대다 당신지 통제 장 주와 뭐 레벨실은 주반에 레벨로 시 자고 okay now so actually we just last time and finish the transmission part is under 10 we just talking some stories this way we're not finished now here is the Jewa so this is the when reach the eight bhumi is then your samadhi is powerful unshakable they cannot destroy and also outer Mara cannot destroy in this the practice the yogis or yogini or whoever practice. Likewise, the inner they're not strong or rough emotion also no arising, but still if the condition comes, it's also still is possible to become in the lower realms. But is the eighth bhumi is much farther than other seven bhumi. So sometimes we call the now the 10th bhumi. We can say this is the 3, 8, and 9, and 10. This is the highest bhumi, and the 10th bhumi chapter and the 8th bhumi is one of the first one because they're 3. So now here is the aspiration is a mashumbe monam, means when the practitioners, they always need to, any circumstance, you need to accept the challenge. We can look in the history, there's so many great Bodhisattvas, right? Such as the Buddhas, and previous Buddha Shakyamunis and the path practice Bodhisattva way. In the Nepal, Namo Buddha, remember, he gave the tiger families in his body. Likewise, in Tibet, means he rebirthed the pure form in 500 times, impurity 500 times. Of course, countless. Impurity means such as in the animal forms. So animal, there you will remember also the 5 friendship animals, such as the elephant, monkey, rabbit, and bird. Those also connection to the Buddhas and disciples. And they also we call one of the rare fish. One time in India, very bad disease came. There are no any medicine can cure. The only one cure is the fish name called the rare. So there's a rarity of fish can only cure this disease. But unfortunately, this fish is not near there. So the king is a Dharma king, is a Bodhisattva. He wanted to serve in his community because they are so suffering. So he go go to his house for the roof, his aspiration, as soon as I will just change my form and transforming to the fish. So then the under those recover, just one right side taking the flesh, and the left side growing, left side taking right growing, but the whole entire the communities heal, and this kind of power to giving whatever needed. So that is where we call right at the beginning aspiration prayer, sometimes Tibetan called Tonglen, giving and receiving. You need to always, that's why one of our great teacher in Tuwang Pajung Rinpoche, his teaching said, and the bodhicitta, the highest emptiness, those not easy to understand. But you will say, Samadambhadra, Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, etc. Whatever the aspiration, I'm true, same as aspiration prayer. And this more deep, more profound, not harm ourselves and so forth. But this way, see, the unshakable aid boomings, you need exercise. And are not arising your own emotion means, for example, generosity. And the old Gadamba tradition, the exercise, the left hand, something object to give to the right hand, right hand, right give to the left. Then decided two hand in holding the object, give in the first person, and then the second object let more value and more benefit. So that's kind of exercising in the mentally how becoming Mashubha means fearless. So Buddhist sadhu is fearless. Remember the challenge for the weather or maybe any difficulties. Any difficulties there, Buddhist sadhu said, no fear. Okay, so that is the no fear means we fear. Oh, I don't like cold. Oh, I don't like hard. I don't like sweet. And we have so many things in fear. So this called fearless, minjikba, fearless. Here's a mashumba, the aspiration and fearless. Then the mimikba means there are no boundaries, the boundless. The boundless means you're some group of you pray for some. Boundless means there are no number. Entire universe, your prayer. Aspiration for benefit all sentient beings, not always in ourselves. Prayers are wonderful, nothing loose. Even though I know, and difficulty sometimes your own catch your mind. But how you can fix the sentient beings? But beautiful aspiration prayer, because all mother sentient beings be free from this, we can say, because someday become this kind of qualified and benefit. So this is sentient on the moments. And here also they explain the beginning to the aspiration also benefit the sentient being. In the middle, your action, any activities also benefit the sentient being. And the provision or result also benefit the sentient beings. That's called noble thought, noble action, noble results. So now here, now you can say, oh, there's a poor guy, he is very sick or she is very sick. That's not So this way, say, aspiration prayer, the fully enlightened, fully be free from suffering, not temporarily this person sick or cold. It's not, yes, it's not better than nothing. You can give them jacket or something, whatever they needed, food, and it helps. But this is beginning of the how to learning in the practice. So the temporary small is not benefit sentient beings, but it's a good idea to how to begin, then expanded our daily practice. So now see, is that I'm helping one or two people. It's not our goal, but we're thinking as much as can. Like my prayer is like space, or my prayer is like sun. And as soon as the sun arises, the mountain or space, they're no longer darkness. And they cannot hiding the darkness, and they also cannot leave darkness in the light. Same as our mind, the luminous, the radiating mind, and the sub-grasping darkness is not come or live in together. So that is where our prayers to benefit always others. As happens, for example, the doctor can produce medicine and he put many together, but then made by one, benefit for countless. As we always call chok, means the gathering. They need all gatherings together, positive. That's what we call here, this case, 10 the bhumi. Otherwise, what we call only one bhumi or one perfection, but more gathering and more benefit. That kind of aspiration is becoming in Latin the seed. Okay, then this seed came to the path to become the resolve. So this is the fully practice for the Avalokiteshvara. This Avalokiteshvara practice called Changjuk Nyavar Tuba. So it means this each time we're thinking Avalokiteshvara, each time we're reciting, each time we extend the Bodhicitta. This means you're going to say, so maybe 1 inch time you're close to maybe 1 yard, or maybe 1 mile way to you get 10 miles, or you 1 mile already pass. Likewise, the aspiration bodhicitta, this kind prayer can have benefit us and others. That is where Om Mani Padme Hum, and people say, I don't have time. Yes, maybe your hands and something's busy, but you have still practice in your mouth, If maybe your job is maybe telephone or something, maybe always need talk, then maybe it's a little challenge. Otherwise, we have the reciting Om Mani Padme Hum with the visualization, with the understanding the meaning the best. Even though we're not understanding the fully the meaning, but what we know many things, the meaning of the Om Mani Padme Hum, whatever we will know, we're thinking that way, benefit that way, and clear and reciting. This reciting looks like every day clean in your house, Each time reciting looks like, you think when you are reciting Om Mani Padme Hum in the kitchen, you thinking this is my wash dish. And you maybe just reciting in your laundry place, and this is a laundromat machine in my outer the clothes clean. This is a place you can finding many unique things reciting this one. When you take food or medicine, this is the essence, the bodhicitta or medicine. There's a cure for the body, and the most cure in the mind. That is the, also good. And these days, maybe drug is more, people a little afraid, maybe there are some chemical or GMO,
Genetically modified organisms, yep. GMO.
Something like that. But your own bodhicitta is so pure, no those chemicals and things like that. If you not put it in the 5%, otherwise it's beautiful medicine. That's reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. That's where called Yeva Miyova, means the 8 bhumi is the unshakable bhumi. So now say the above 8 bhumis, such as 9 and 10, they're more primordial wisdom is now more power, and not the negativity, or of course other bhumis, they're not negativities, but subtle part is still when the condition come. Remember this, they said in the 8 bhumi is not arising any more strong emotions, but still, for example, in a cup, and you are something in the cup, you can put a very smelling object. We use, say, the garlic, for example, remember? And you take out, first you're going to put the garlic, maybe, a couple of days. Then after take out the garlics, and you're going to ask someone, did you see my cup? And the new arrival say, oh, I saw your cup is empty. But then close in the nose, oh, looks like smell. It's maybe some garlic. So then they know it's a garlic there or pruned still there. Not completely arising real as garlic's not there, but still garlic smell there. So this the aid booming is not arising the Tibetan word nyumongwa is a sort of the strong, the attachment and so forth. And that is where the unshakable means now his safety place, you know, he's get out the seventh bhumi, sixth bhumi. Seventh bhumi is like the highest, the arhat level. And the arhat also very power, but eighth bhumi is now the highest Buddhist out of the three bhumis. Just I said, mentioned eight is first bhumi, and second is none, third is the 10th. Let's go three higher bhumis. Okay, now next one is the Guvatobji Parudu Chimba. Ninth is the aspiration and the power. So there are also three ways to explanation. First, how to subduing the four maras. This the power of the subjugating is the came from the two cumulative maras. And the arising is a very powerful way to subjugating and transforming. And now the first one in the subjugating the four maras. This is the only the non-bhumi, intent bhumi in subjugating this for our inner the maras. Still remember the last the 10th bhumi, the subtle part is the subjugating. But now non-bhumi also control, you can say 90 point in your mind. And then 10th bhumi is the 100%, you know, and that's kind in the power. Now, since this is the bhumi is talking about all the dharma phenomena is the nature of the emptiness, the no fear. Remember, under the arhat, under the sixth bhumi, they are terrifying the misunderstanding, the emptiness, because they are nothingness means then we're doing cumulative merit, whereas the benefit result. If somebody did sin, all these bad things, who can dissolve to the bad karmic the punishment? If the empty, you know, they didn't understand the emptiness. So that's why they don't want to hear. That's called Shiva Gejik Chami, means the subtle mind is the subtle part still need, you know, even though we cannot say this is, you know, thought one and thought two, but still need to carrying this kind of legacy. Shiva Gejik Chami means this in the outer think is the same as scientists, you know, outer things. Also, the big form is the world, and then smaller, say, mountain and tree and rock and things like that. We can particle to particle, and then just go to deeper. Then they say no particle, and this the other hat under there so terrifying. But you say still need. You cannot divide it, but the small particle, if you say this, then becoming directions east and west and so forth. If there no particle, how they came the first? Because they have to have something small particle in somewhere, and then when condition come, they're magnetic to collecting the bigger and the bigger. So the highest, the Madhyamika, all those the middle way, they directly say they don't have anything as existence, you know, the particles. So that is why they're so terrifying. This different teachings, philosophical when in the explanation. So this way, the non-bhumi is very power, where no fear to practice and teaching, and also the skillful means to not terrifying others as well. There is the particular power came from, as they call, the fully perfection for the two cumulative merits. There's two cumulative merit, and you will becoming the power of your samadhi is increased. Tsoni tar chimbala deni ane mishube tingenji fearless samadhi reaching or accomplishment samadhi of power of samadhis. Okay. So now this kind of power of you have. This is the seed of the power. The seed carrying to the path and the provision in the results. So this way, no longer in the samsaric mental, and also the teaching is fully awakening, and it, no fear any giving physically, body or mentally anything without hesitant or fear. So so now again, that if we wanted first practice the Buddha compassion, this is the way to you become those bhumis and powers. Here, Om Mani Padme Hum, Shidevi Jivachanes. That is where we are reaching to the Nanda Bhumi and then becoming the excellent stage. Deyang Jivu Yang Thabar. So this way, the provision is now the base, the primordial way understanding. Now it's so clear. There's the benefit, and when benefit, we have also aspiration prayer. But we don't have the fully awakening. We also tons mystic because we're not fully awakening. And the Nanda Bhumi, everything, every thought, every step is a directly benefit. They know mystics, how this power, this called here, Dakshinga Tanzaji, two amevas. Two. Yeah, those way we'll see, everybody try something and you can make this person very happy and then other ones very unhappy. So this is, we don't have the power to how we can make sentient being is the everyone, like a lot of Buddhas you can see, when he used one language, 6 realms, they no need a translator. And also from old to, and also middle age and the young age, everyone can understand one Buddha's language is so beautiful. For us, we say that we need 3 different age, we need 3 different explanation. But in other words, and maybe middle age, smart person, we will explain some kids, and they're boring. Then they will just, play a game or something looking text and things like that. And then we will maybe explain. So anyway, that's kind of the tender bhumi have the skillful and all the method, the fearless and that is called the Legbeludu, means the excellent stage. Okay, now you can read more on 10th.
10th, perfection of wisdom. Within our 3 sections, wisdom realizing the dharmas and individuals are egoless.
Also, you can T2, yeah.
2, wisdom of complete non-thought. 3, wisdom at the time of peace. As for the wisdom realizing that dharmas and individuals are egoless, dharmas are by nature non-conceptual, egoless, and empty of essence. Since ego grasping of individuals is not established, by realizing emptiness of essence, there is realization. As for the wisdom of complete non-thought, within the 10th bhumi, clouds of Dharma, after the Vajra-like wisdom has conquered even subtle obscurations of knowables, by realizing them as empty, there is the Vajra-like Samadhi. As for the wisdom at the time of peace, when we have thus come to a conclusion about and overcome habitual patterns, After all non-corresponding aspects have been eradicated, wisdom becomes predominant. Thus, having produced the cause by means of the perfection of wisdom, in establishing the path in fruition of wisdom, recite the essence mantra, the 6 syllables of great compassion, which leads directly to enlightenment. By continually counting Om Mani Padme Hum, having purified obscurations, the 10th bhumi, clouds of Dharma is attained. In Dharmakaya, like the sky, after Sambhogakaya has arisen like clouds, Nirmanakaya, like rain, falls on the earth. The kleshas, which are to be tamed, are like uncultivated ground. After they have been abandoned, the sprouts of enlightenment grow. By making us attain the fruition of the 3 kayas, the 10th bhumi is called clouds of Dharma. From traversing in order the stages of the 10 bodhisattva bhumis, that was the way of traversing them all at once by the way of great compassion. These were the oral instructions of the emanated king on the way of the 10 perfections.
Okay. 주바 인시지 바르도 진발라스문데 저다 간살라다 메브르도 베이시동 넘버미도 베이시동 시제베 주조 주당 간살라다 메브르도 베이시니 주라시 지미 와다메와 대용호동 강사다 돈점버 모두 병호동게 원이지 동배 동바르도 바고 넘버미도 베이시니 서주바 주지 딩지살 도지도 베이시지 시제제와 점마양 좀네 동바 또바라도 주도부 등은 시제베 이신에 되도록 하자. 다샤장 좀내 믿음배 초tum제 차라지니 이신이 이시시 철을 줄바고 되더리 이시지. 되더리 이신에 바로도 침배 규전에 이시지 남제보다 조와제와 주브르제와로 두주진부 이게 어디에 조바 찬주 녀바라 주베닝보 된다고 엄마네 받면 공시 장바. 제바전에 대인되고 사주와도 추구는 것도 올라longu 띵다고 전에 두고 차르다고 뉴저를 주에 녀몽바 타고 다고 안에 전주군 요거지 구숨지 되고 더불어 제와서 주가 최지 진시 저와 전주게 좀 사주 레머라더와레 두지 심볼로기 직저와드 벨로서 주제고 제동 바로도 좀 주로서 Now here's the Juba Yishiji Parudu Chimba. So this now is the 10th bhumi, the fully awakening through the primordial wisdom. There are 3 ways to explain. And also they separate in the Dharma and the self. And non-abiding in the wisdoms, or the Shitseve, as the peace and the Mahat Parinirvana peace in the primordial wisdoms. First, the sub and separate in the phenomena. This they call the Yishi, and they recognize right at the beginning mind. Some do go Yishi, some do we go Rigpa. So when you Rigpa means see, now you're understanding. Marigpa means not understanding. This we call the seed of the samsara is called Marigpa. And also remember 2 links of interdependence. The first one is a Marigpa. Marigpa means unseen, unseen in our naked eye, or unseen in our lack of the wisdom. So we don't have those capacity to see the purity. We always see the outer universe, inner living beings, always impure. That is the one rich. The bhumins, 8, 9, and a special 10th, everything is becoming purity. This way, in the universe, is the nature of the Pure Land. The living being is in Buddhas and Bodhisattva, Jagas and Dakinis. They don't have any ordinary beings or objects because they see everything's purity. Likewise, remember, long time we said, if they have some waters and the human being can see the water, hungry ghosts can see it in the blood, cannot drink. And the higher realms can see nectars, even the one object, because if the one is the dissolved to the nectar, one dissolved to the water. So that way is the how power can see this kind of how. So they hear Yishi. We're talking as a Yishi means it's not a man-made. It's right at the beginning of the natural mind. They're so beautiful. This kind of purity is each and sentient being they have, we call Shidevashibu Nimbu. The Shignimbu Dugunyula chaps. The primordial wisdom is within all sentient beings. Whoever use this primordial and this way can seen in first called shape. Now that's the right beginning mind now recognize fully. It's not making new things, nothing add, nothing reject, but whatever it is, then they see now is beauty is they're going to see it only. So now they're reaching in the stage, for example, right now the beautiful weather, majority being can see the day, this light, bright light. But not owl cannot see the daytime, but the different. Likewise, in the sentient beings like become like owl. Everything is darkness right now. It's samsara is darkness, my friend darkness, my relationships darkness, all those dark. And then Bodhisattva will say, oh, it's beautiful in the sky blue, nice, changing the environment in nice way, smells good, tastes good, everything's good, even the same place. So that's called, Lord Jigden Sunggun said, sometimes when he sees the practice some vacation, see that all this place is like no different than pure land, then it is pure land. Then that's where the mind can recognize. So that's called rigbas again, rigba, a marigba. That's called yishi. Okay, yishi means as a big in word. The chida. What does mean yishi means they fully need understanding, not sub-identity yourself. So this is, the only enlightened can understand. For us, this is who I am, where I came from, what I eat, what I have to plan, and so on and so forth, endless there. So Buddhas and Bodhisattva, then they cannot find sub-identity, top to bottom, left to right, yourself and others. That's what we call everything in the universe is like the one energy circle. The consciousness is beyond the form, This way, consciousness only cannot change. Male form is always need male. Female is always female. How many death, how many rebirth? You have no change anything. You want changing, or you naturally changing, or your cause conditionally changing. There are no hope anything because you already independently. So everything's independently original this way. So the primordial mind is the beyond the gentle, beyond the color. And I heard someone a few days ago, love is beyond religions, love is beyond colors. So that is why here, the primordial yishi is so beautiful. The kindness person or evil person or gentle animal and the wild animals. But inside is no different. But the condition come, and for example, tiger has become vegetarian is very difficult, right? And cheater has become vegetarian is difficult. But many beings, right? For example, maybe deers, those is vegetarian animals, right?
Yes.
But now there's in the vegetarian species, also mind is more kind, longer life, more gentle. So, those wild animals attacked each other, taking, for example, life or meat, whatever you call, a shot. Even though lion is very powerful, they can attack others and other lions. When they get older, they have no more left power. And then other young lion can attack them to kill and eat. That's the logic. This one was the song said. Lun jungshila targu chungzana gyushida pazayang dumburda. When the 5 elements changing our body, how you handsome, how you wealthy, how you educated, you have how many you have the fan, how many you have the degree piece of papers, getting old, everything, you know, you have one of this say in here language say, okay, this is such and such I got in the high school. So this now I'm giving my niece. This is my grandma gave me very precious, but this give my nephew. So now one thing looks like you're very kindness. One thing you know is not longer used. Just giving or the spontaneous is separated slowly, slowly. So here at the Yishi is beautiful, you know. Yishi is like right now in the New England area, so right now it's beautiful, the blue sky and multicolor is leaf changing. This in some place miserable weather, some place. So that kind, see the mind is beyond this kind of elements, always the same, you know, always same. That's why we need to wishing everyone can recognize their own beauty is need to recognize. Otherwise, they're not enough themselves. Something need more, something change. So anyway, so now here is they recognize that every phenomena is not sub-identities. There are everything's emptiness. When not holding any grasping and you understand in the emptiness. You're holding something, never let it to go, and you use the word emptiness if you knew use how to use, but you didn't know how to real because you're holding. That's why here the tender bhumi is now free, free from all those mental life or maybe samsara. Then no one can block in the tender bhumi. Number means the spontaneous promoted wisdom. Now here, and the tender bhumi is example. Is here. The Dharmakaya is like space or sky, you know. And then the conditions, the sentient beings, the appearance, and Sambhogakaya is like clouds. And within cloud, there are the Nirmanakaya is continue to benefit. Rains come, mountains, valleys, and the trees, and we all beings use. So this kind, and the when rich tender bhumi, this kind of manifestation. For us, we can do one at a time. But you're going to say example, before we one by one. Now, technology allow Zoom within, you know, a small computer, many people in also there. Same as military was, remember teaching time, military was not becoming smaller. The yak horn is not bigger, but perfect fit inside the yak horn. So likewise, when we recognize primordial awareness, everybody the same nature, you know. So now we own the computer, and everybody the same size, you know. They're not limited to say, oh, you're yellow color, black, or rich, nothing, but same size and design, the same, same as the nature here. Oh, tether pakja sajuvatin. So now this is sajuvatin, the wishi. So now say here the tender bhumi is, you know, the power is like diamond, and they don't have any subtle part. The negativity is arising and cutting at the same time. They're not chance to growing, creating or continue negatives, because they're first place they don't have a strong clash mind. But second, as soon as arise and they liberate in the same time. That's called Dorjita Vidingi means, and like this some diamond samadhi, like diamond samadhi, sharp, unshakable, and are not arising inside, not bothering in the outside as well. Yeah. So that's kind of the primordial. So in print, every movement is just subjugating and to all the outer arising and inner rising. They are not strong to emotion didn't take down for us. The primordial will take us to our wiki. And the people said here, remember, somebody's low and we need high or something like that. That's kind of here. Emotions coming higher, your awareness need to more higher. Now this is the perfection of the primordial wisdom's seed. Likewise, the perfection of the primordial path and resolve or provision. If you wish, this kind of practice and meditate, we need to do put the compassion, and that's way the Changchuk never do. In this way, close and close become like Bodhisattva. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's reciting and counting, and always that's you can reaching to the tender bhumi. Then again, and spontaneously, you reaching there in your mind is becoming, remember the Chugu is like the Dharmakaya. And the Sambhogakaya is like cloud, Nirmanakaya is rain, wherever benefit, even though almost impossible land also becoming possible because the conditions. And then there's the land is very soil and good, and the growing and the Changchuk Nyugu, there's the enlightened seeds growing. This the enlightened seed will become the result of the three kayas or three bodies. That's called Chuba Chuyidin. The 10th Bhumi name means Dharma cloud, 10th Bhumi name. Okay, Chuyidin. Chanjuk is Sambasa Juba Dhamale, Tuji Shimbu, Lugi, Chikra Juba. So this kind in the Buddha compassion, our Lugudishora's manifestation, King Sonzen Gambu, explain how to you reach the 10th Bhumi for the 10th 10th perfection wisdom practice, resolve reaching 10th Bhumi. Okay, so now we will maybe short tea break, and then we will. So you need a tea break or not need it? Or you want to become 10th Bhumi right now?
Tea break.
Yeah, tea break.
Tea break.
You like some water?
We said tea break, not a water break.
Okay. You like some water and a tea bag?
No,
Okay.
maybe you can make third one, coffee.
You want a coffee? All right.
Yeah. We do everything.
Sounds good then.
Guess it's coming soon also. Is the coming tea break? No, Mira. Now, come here. Om Benzor Sadhu Samaya Monu Balaya Benzor Sadhu Denu Bo De Don De Don Membava Sodo Kaya Membava Subo Kaya Membava Anuradha Membava Sovaside Membrayanza Sorva Gama Suzame Zidma Shri Yamguru Ha 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 o Bangavan Sorva Dada Gandam Benzor Mamim Ganzimbo Ma Samaya Sadhu. Okay. I can read it.
You want me to start the next chapter?
Yeah.
Chapter 27. Oral instructions on the 6 ultimates of learning. Om Mani Padme Hum. I prostrate to great compassion. The oral instructions of the emanation of great compassion, the Dharma protecting King Songtsen Gampo, on the 6 ultimates of learning. This is the beginning of chapter 27. 1. Traversing only by stages. 2. Grasping the ground by samaya. 3. Resolving the view. 4. By samadhi arousing experience. 5. By action discarding the past. 6. Establishing the goal by the oral instructions. First, traversing only by stages is like a prince assuming the royal place. At first, in entering the gates of Dharma, we must always attain empowerment. If empowerment is not attained, it is not proper to listen and meditate on the Dharma. For example, if a prince, having taken the royal place, has not been empowered, he cannot control his subjects. He cannot direct them. Likewise, after having received the empowerment of the power of awareness of great compassion, by reciting the essence mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, having purified obscurations, we can subdue kleshas and discursive thoughts. Kleshas and discursive thoughts go into being self-arising and self-liberating. What action does the empowerment of the power of awareness perform? By the master combining blessing, empowerment, and the oral instructions, for a student who combines good fortune, faith, and devotion, our own empty nature of mind, because it is not established as things in characteristics, is the great primordial existence. Since that is the unobstructed power of awareness, the ordinary 5 poisons arising as discursive thoughts
Okay, we can stop
are
here.
empty of any root.
All right. Om Mani Padme Hum, Tukji Chenpo La Cha Tse Lo, Tukji Chenpo Driwa Chu Jungwe Ye, Wu Song Zhen Gambo, Lawe Tachuki, Shedam La Tangbu Kona, Rinpo Wangi Driwa Da, Niwa Shi Tam Zegi Songwa Da, Sumba Dawe Tajewa, Shiwa Nyamsu, Lambi Dingen Zenji Lambo, Ngawa Jiwa, Torwa, Chukwa, Tong Menga Ji, Driwa Wote, La Tangbu, Rinpo Wangi Driwa, Jebu Jesa Chungwa Da Wu Yinde, Tangbo Kona, Chokro Shubala, Wang Topo de Wang Matopna Chu Ninjing, Gomba Kanya, Mirungwe, Pena Jebu Jesara Chungni, Wang Manguna, Bang Sinji, no menu, the Kalu Guru Minus, the Ishindo, Tukjum, Ribazi, Wangru, Nimbun, Oman, Padme Hong, She, Deve, Ribachani, Yomomba, Namdo Jungonuso, Yomomba, Namdo Rangsarang, Rudundro, Tilla Ribazi, Wang Chawa, Kangalana, Lame Chilla, Wang Tambasum Zomba, Lama Gewa Dembe, Tewada, Kuva Sum Zongomba Jigla, Ranga Simni Tongbong, Wodang, Sema number, Semar Majuva, Yene, Shiva, Tilla Ribate, Mangabe, Tamegi, Namdo, Nga, Tamegi, Tunga, Namdo to Sharva, the Zawa Tongbale, Sharvan Dine, Chungmewa, Medo, Nyambe Tongo. So now here's the and continue the next chapter and the chapter 26, is it? 23? So anyway, now here's beginning. Om Mani Padme Hum, pay homage to the Buddha compassion or Avalokiteshvara and King Songtsen Gampo. And there are 6 different ways to explanation this how to practice. The first stage means we just talked this morning in the 10th Bhumi, or 6th perfection or wisdom by stage by stage. The second, and the holding the pure samaya. The samaya is a commitment to practice becoming Buddhahood, benefit sentient beings. Third is tawe takjeva, as do you understand the view of the Dharma. Fourth is the how to practice in the samadhi. That's kind of fourth. And fifth is the jivatova. That means the fifth is the action. Sixth and the ton menga. This is fifth instruction how to put fully together practice. The first stage, how to stage by stage makes sense. Here is the example. Say for example, some place they are the kingdom, they are the princess. Now he so this is one of the prince becoming the crown and the celebration to the now he become in the king or queen. After that, and people respect. If you're not a throne, even though you're same family gene, but no one can respect you as a king because now they are the stage, but you not ceremony way to not throne. So now here's also in the people who want to practice the Dharma, There are three ways do you need understanding. First, the one empowerment, transformation, long, and then practice the correct way and now. Or that is the way in together, and you're not missing any practice. You're missing one, and that cannot completely succeed. That's why here the example is the king and without a throne ceremony, and the territory or the follower cannot follow him or her because you're not the king. Even though respect, you are the family part of the king, but you're not king. So that's the way, the three way to receive, then allowed practice. For example, the Dharma practice or Avalok Dishora, we always remember those three things: empowerment, transformation, and teaching. Likewise here, teaching to Tukji Chimbo represent you one good way. But the compassion, the awareness, empower to allow to practice love and compassion. Love and compassion to all sentient beings we talked this morning. So there's a love and compassion where you begin, how you expand it. A simple way is here again, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum's the essence of the teachings, sutras and tantras and 84,000 is the essence one. So you will reciting, and then once while you are understanding each letters and meaning, how radiating to connect to the all six realms and so forth. The reciting is not once time or once a while, it's not. Continually and reciting, continue increase your love, compassion, bodhicitta as well, and subjugating in our inner maras. That's what we call victory in ourselves. It's a yule jeva. Usually afflicted will take care because we have, so many disappointed in our mind. But your victory, all this clash, as we call, you will know victory, yule jeva. Now say, even though clash or even though strong afflictive emotion arising in our mind, but not long in the stay, sub-rising and sub-liberate and simultaneously. This Tibetan called Namdo Rangshar Rangchol. So sometimes we will just stuck there, but this they call example. Some our teachers said, if you're strong arising anger, you need imaging and some look drawing in the beautiful object in the drawing in the lake in the water. As soon as you dry and the despair at the same time. Likewise, anger arising, the anger is baseless, good things. It's easy to go away if you recognize. You recognize means you need to let it to go, not holding. Something you don't like, you holding, that's your something make you an unpleasant in your mind, unpleasant effect in your body and your energy, in your spiritual as well. So this is called the Ribatse Yuwang, so the power and awareness. So the awareness power is like the Garuda fly in the space or sky. Number one, the space is so vast and there nobody can block for you. And then the Garuda, they have power to can fly and they cannot catch any other species. So our mind beyond than that. So we in a happy moment, nobody can make you unhappy. But this way depend our own mind, it's called Rigbatse, and we need to recognize. Now this one, if you don't know how to do, that's called Lame Chilabdang Danga. So this is called the blessing by the gurus, lamas. There are three ways to the, just like say, flowers are beautiful, but you need to take care. They need water, soil, and so forth. So you want to fully peace and happiness, these conditions you need. The teachings, instructions, and introductions, and things like that. That's the way you will fully chance to become like other great beings, noble beings. The noble beings always thinking for others. So always other means you're not abandoned, you're including. Like we, on these days, they say, your limousine driver or your Uber driver or your taxi driver or your pilot, the same. You will simply take care of others and you also at the same time. That's where practice I love to happy, healthy mind and increase the spiritual at the same as the others. So that is where how do we need to learn in this case, practice Buddha compassion. And then once everything arising and sub-rising and sub-elaborate, and they're not a strong, the negative mind, we call five poisons, attach, anger, and so forth. As soon as arising in the mind, and the lemonade at the same time, because anger is like very darkness, and your awareness like the push button, very strong bright light. As the darkness is no longer there, the darkness, the light cannot live it together either. Likewise, and the Western said one coin, two different sides. Same as our consciousness, the left side or right side, depend us. It's called how to Rangsha or sub-rising and sub-liberate. So that is the way how we practice for transforming and becoming the victorious ones. So again, we can today stop here, and we will dedicate our any practice to benefit all sentient beings, people who pass away, to report the Sugawadi Pure Land, people who in ill recover soon, not only people, other species and animals and environment, everything we need to getting better condition. So now please dedicate in the long life prayer, first prayer book, page 78. Chunle lundu gejuru shabdin shoy kunjo sumji tenpa zimba la ngage wanchu ji zinja tubden rinjin domen dunze chujye nawa gejuru shabdin shoy kumbe chogyuru tuwe tenpa la nyingdubu chimbo mani sushin geden londo gwane jenze page 70. Oh, okay, now you can read English maybe. Aaron?
Doje Chan, Taroba, Naroba, Marba, Milareba, Dharmalord Gambaba, Pamadruba, and Lord Jagumba, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all the Kagyu Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies' confusion, may all who travel on the ways of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind, where it is unborn may it rise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth, the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate Buddha virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Trungpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, the Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, meditation, until the end of samsara.
So now we can do one more prayer for world peace. Prayer book, page 60. Boroi Gonje Gomboy Jerese Jedo Domai Guru Pemanjung So Wonder Zoi Doi Dom Shegun Mo Loyon Zon Joy Boroi Join Jilo New doing donan son jolo gadon chenai jowai jobe joy jinji ngaramyoy dobe myoy jote yamne Saloy Jedoy Naijo Jombose Tsasoy Sersum Loy Nimoy Doso Chara Jominyon Zamne Soy Dunte Sayumedan Yunjin Jebatan Kebaraden Lai Tebe Tamaso Zamling Juande Nui Zire Dai Dai Nyardoi Jai Jai Zane Join Jojib Myoy Doi Myomen Dovoi Tadagi Gulai Chain Joy Sam Joy Rimbuche Ngai Gyoi Jene Benze Sam Jorade Bendoi Jambe Sam Dan Dene Jan Dam Lingoi Tawa Degi Bejinjor Zan Dam Boy Darajin Yuenesho Zai Sumoy Jawai Seje Dembedu Korode Gebe Tawa Kanjibai Dai Joy Losam Number Gavedu Sodamon Ben Devodu. Okay, and you quick and once English.
The three jewels and three roots, trustworthy source of refuge, and in particular the Lord, the land and snow, Avalokiteshvara, Jizuntara, and Guru Pema Sambhava. I supplicate you, please follow your previous pledges. Bestow blessings as aspiration prayer may be fulfilled the most perfectly. Due to the degeneration of time, when thoughts and deeds of beings are perverted, and the inner and outer elements have lost their balance. People and cattle are seized by epidemic disease previously unheard of, intruding Rahus, Nagas, powerful demons, and dark forces, blight, frost, and hail, bad harvest, warfare, and so forth. Erratic rainfall, heat, misery, and droughts in the world, destruction by the elements such as earthquakes and the threat of fire, and in particular barbaric offenses causing harm to the teachings are rampant. May all types of harm and injury around the world be swiftly pacified and overcome. May the precious and supreme Bodhicitta spontaneously arise in the mind streams of all beings, human and non-human,
May
And
they
may
are
they be
free
free
from
from
destructive thoughts and deeds.
May all be endowed with loving mind for one another. And may well-being, glory, and prosperity prevail throughout the world. May the Buddha's teachings spread far and wide and everlast. By the truthful power and three roots of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by any root virtue existing in samsara and nirvana, by the power of our perfectly pure highest intention, may the fruition of our supplication and aspiration be attained.
Thanks, everyone, and you have a wonderful day, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Lama.
Lama.
Thank you, Lama.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lama.
Lama.